Hey guys, happy Wednesday. Welcome to another episode of Day in the Life of Vintage Classic Specialist. So, this thing, let me come back to this at the end. I'll talk about what we did today and then I'll go into what's going on with this thing. So, today this happened. Look at that. Woo! The Barndoor got its butt cover, its deck lid. And looks amazing. Look at that reflection there. Hey. Yeah, of course our guy polished this and everything just like he did everything else. So it looks equally amazing as the rest of the paint on this car. So yeah, this went on today, and the beading in here, which is kind of a pain to get it in there, but very important little detail there. And then Rafa got put on the third brake light there, the third brake light slash, I don't know if you'll be able to see it there, slash license plate light. So that went on. The big thing though is that for those of you that know Barndoor buses, you know how hard parts are to get for these. And for the life of us, we have not been able to locate a deck lid prop. So they're kind of similar to the ones on later buses, but they're actually completely different as far as you can't just take one off a later bus and bolt it on there. This bus did have included with it a later one, and yeah, we tried real hard to get one and just haven't been able. So in interest of keeping the project going, we pretty much made one. You know, that's how it goes with let me back that up a little. We modified heavily a later model one to work on here, because that's what you got to do on these cars with rare parts. You can't find them, you modify it, or you make it, or you do what you got to do. So here it is. So the major difference on this piece between a Barndoor and a later one is actually the length of this part of the arm. And on the later buses, this arm is like a good 1.5 inches or so longer than the one on the Barndoor. And the way this thing closes, you absolutely can't just use the longer one. It's completely incompatible. So basically what Rafa did was he took this one apart, and then he got out our torch and started heating up this metal here. And you can see it's got this reinforcing rib on it. Well, that rib, so this is the side he shortened it on. He shortened it on this side. So again, where this rivet is here, that was originally about an inch and a half further this way, which meant that this rib continued well into, or well past where this is here. This rib went to here where my thumb is. So basically Rafa just started heating this thing up for quite a while with the torch and got it good and hot, and then pretty much blacksmithed this thing to remove or to shorten this rib here to the point where you see it here, so that it would clear the head of this rivet. And then pretty much, added the new hole here, made this end round like it's supposed to be. So in the end, if you didn't know, you would probably not necessarily notice that this didn't come like this. The only thing that might give you a hint is that instead of the end of this rib being rounded like it is here, it's kind of squared off. But I mean, yeah, that's a little detail that we can live with, I think. And anyway, I don't know that anyone's really going to be sticking their head in there looking at the shape of this rib. He did also have to modify this tab a little bit to get it to work with the earlier bus. The other difference is on these, other than the length of this arm here, is that on the Barndoor one, it doesn't really so much have this shape in it. It's more like just straight through here. So somebody with a very keen eye for Barndoor parts might notice that this has this sort of shape in it here versus just being straight. But again, if you can't find the part, sometimes you got to make or modify it and get it as close as you reasonably can. you know, we probably could have spent another couple days, couple days on it and like straighten this out. But at some point, it's just not worth it anymore. But this has been test fitted. It works bitchin'. It latches just like it should. And then our painter painted it to match the gray of the engine compartment. So yeah, it's basically ready to go in. Let's just go ahead and open this huge door up, this big barn door. But yeah, this is all installed. Rafa went ahead and wired this all in. And yeah, that was pretty much his day. He spent most of his day basically blacksmithing and metalworking that latch, which goes over there, and also fitting the deck lid, getting the beading in there, stuff like that, and then installing this kind of towards the end of the day. So yeah, it's a big deal though. There's nothing worse than seeing a really nice bus or bug for that matter where the latch or the spring or whatever doesn't work and they've got like a broom or something holding the deck lid up. That having been said, I don't run a spring on the deck lid of my red 55 autocross car because I've got quick release pins in there and the whole thing's made to come off easily. But yeah, for most cars, like this car didn't have a deck lid spring in it when it came in. There's no point in this car not having a deck lid spring on it, so I put one on it. But anyway, likewise with buses, a lot of people can't get those latches to work. They're pretty fidgety. It takes some work to get them to work. But yeah, we like those kind of details, things working like they came from the factory. So that is how that's going to work now. So that was Rafa's day. My day, since I'm standing here next to the orange creamsicle, or whatever we're calling it, got his front and back together, or well, it was mostly together, but I put his front wheels on it and put the car down on the ground. And I haven't driven it yet because it doesn't have any gas tank in it, but you know, I kind of pushed on it, got it to settle a little bit. And I think the front ride height is probably going to be pretty close where it is now. It looks kind of silly because, again, these tires are pretty much rubber bands on here. So I did order him new front and rear tires today. They're going to show up on Friday. So once I mount up the new tires on here and I'm able to take the thing for a spin and get everything to settle, may have to adjust the front down a tad. But we'll see. The back is sitting high right now because I had it jacked up and it hasn't settled. And so you can see all that camber and stuff back there. So I have a feeling that when I put on the taller front tires and then get the whole car to settle, it might even end up with the front a little higher. However, that is the beauty of an adjustable beam, is we can drop it down and get the right stance here that we want, which I think is going to be just slightly raked, like very subtle. But yeah, that'll happen once the tires are on and we get the whole thing set. So there you go. So not quite yet. I did also work on this one a little bit today, messing around with the valve train geometry. These came in, the lash caps. So the geometry, it's not perfect. However, with the 36s, you pretty much just have to make some compromises as far as the geometry, because unlike later motors where you can shim out the whole rocker on the pedestal, the pedestal, it basically sits in like a rounded, well, here you can see on the rocker itself, it's rounded. And so the head matches this round shape and it sort of cradles it in there. Unlike a later one where this sits on a flat piece and you can shim the whole rocker assembly in and out this way as part of the sort of tools you have at your disposal as far as getting the rocker geometry right. But on these, basically you've got the adjuster screw there, which is actually kind of limited because you have to make sure that the oiling hole in the adjuster is in the right range where it's actually going to send oil through the rocker. So you really only have a few threads one way or the other on that. And then the push rod length is kind of determined by that. And then again, you should pretty much have to use lash caps. I'm gonna look and see if I can find some thinner lash caps. These are, I don't remember, 80 or 85 thou thick, and it's kind of too much. If I can find some thinner ones, great. If not, then this is pretty much it. And I may have to clearance the inside of the valve covers a little bit. You might be able to see that little shiny spot right there. That's where this adjuster, when I had the adjustable push rod and stuff in, the bottom of this adjuster is like barely touching the valve cover. So might have to go and clearance the inside bottom of the valve covers where those rockers are, but not a big deal. It's actually a pretty normal thing to have to do on performance motors, especially, you know, like this, where you're kind of limited as far as the rocker geometry, getting it what I would consider perfect. But, you know, that having been said, it's the spring pressures are relatively low on here and stuff like that, so it's absolutely not something to lose sleep over. Is it perfect? No. Is it going to make any practical difference as far as wear and tear, etc.? No. So that's my diatribe on that. I did briefly give the Mouse Gray bus some love today by taking its intake manifold and its NOS fresh air 40 horse muffler to the ceramic coaters that we use, MB Performance, down in, I'm not sure if that's Santa Ana or Irvine, but anyway, yeah, I took that down for those guys and picked up, oh, and then this guy, I picked up his wheels from powder coating today, and our painter has already masked them off, and should be hopefully picking up the paint, which is Lotus White, here in the next couple days, as soon as Kevin from Temple Restorations has that mixed up for me. So yeah, those will be painted soon. And what else? Okay, so on to this thing you're probably all wondering about. So this car actually came in about probably like a week ago, and I haven't shown it to you guys because I wasn't sure we were even going to do anything on it. So the guy bought the car recently out of Texas. It runs and drives, sort of, or it runs and drives. He actually drove it part of the way here. But he's wanting it made cosmetically to look a lot better, and he's wanting to make sure that it runs and drives good and is reliable and fun and all that good stuff. So let's talk about the interior first. So the interior has been pretty much removed now, which is why everything's all sitting cattywampus in here. But went ahead and talked to my interior guy, and we put some numbers together for an interior. So basically what we're going to do is everything you see here that's red, we're going to reupholster. Already picked up some nice new red vinyl here. And then all the carpet, which is all the floor and stuff like that, is going to be redone. There was this back seat bottom in this car, which makes zero sense because there was no backrest for it. So I talked to the owner, and we're just going to make like, or even use the, I think it's plywood as the base of this, and just cover that with carpet. So this will all be carpet back here. And other than that, everything else you see that's red vinyl will be recovered and look amazing. And then I'm also putting together an estimate to sand the thing down and fix any little tiny cracks. I mean, it's fiberglass, so it's a kit car. It's not a real 356. If I didn't mention that, I figured you guys all kind of figured that out on your own. But yeah, there's just some like little very light cracking. I don't know if you can even see it, and scratches and stuff. So we're suggesting that we just sand the whole thing down, get a good coat of primer on it, block it, etc., and then shoot a new coat of paint on it. So I got to get him that estimate. I think he's probably going to go for it. So yeah, interior and then paint. His motor runs. It was supposedly rebuilt like, I don't know, 4,000 or 5,000 miles ago. It's kind of dirty and kind of ugly. So I may just like clean up his motor and get it to look a little bit more presentable. And then, yeah, kind of check out the mechanicals and stuff like that on it. The other thing that I'm going to recommend to him is, and I need to find him some options, is these wheels are just way too shallow given the fact that the car is made as a wide body. I mean, look at how far in that is. That's like a good, if I touch the tire's right there. So, I mean, the tire's like that far. What is that? Couple inches or so at least inside of the fender well. So it just looks kind of silly having a wide body with the tires way in like that. And it's like that on the back and the front. So yeah, I'm gonna look into some options for some deeper dish wheels. I guess we could space them out, but it would just look kind of silly because these are relatively narrow, and so just having narrow tires and pushing them out further really kind of defeats the purpose of having a wide body car. So I'm gonna try and find some deep wheels that will look good on here as an option, and see what he wants to do. So I think this car has a lot of potential. It's definitely a diamond in the rough right now, but I think, you know, doing those cosmetic things, again, interior, and then paint, and then hopefully a new set of wheels, clean up his engine. I think this is going to be a really bitchin' little car that he's going to have a lot of fun with. But right now it's just kind of ugly and gross, and this interior is just nasty. I don't know. I think, well, the carpet's out there, but you can kind of see, I think maybe the previous owner had a big dog that they rode around in here a lot or something. There's just like, looks like dog hair everywhere, and the upholstery is like coming apart and faded. It really needs to be redone. We're gonna find him a new steering wheel. No point in recovering that one. You can get a good looking steering wheel for, I think, cheaper than it would be to recover this one. So yeah, that is this one. So yeah, stay tuned, and hopefully we'll be able to make this car look amazing for him, and should be a fun project. All right, guys, a little bit of a long episode today since I had to kind of go over this one and a bunch of other stuff that we got done, but that is it for today, guys. Appreciate you all watching. Thank you again, and we will see you again tomorrow. Bye.